Class, who wants story time? All right, it's story time, just like we had in kindergarten, but this is the story time that is going to change your world as a salesperson. I am going to tell you the story of Tony and the peach tree. Why am I telling you the story of Tony and the peach tree? Because it's 100% true, and it's a bit embarrassing for me, which is fun, and it plays in perfectly to Alejandro's question in the chat. Alejandro's like, yo, Matt, I got a team. We're selling a physical product. By the way, they're selling it to like grocery stores, bakeries. It's a kick-ass product. It's amazing. It's like sealing bags. It's doing all this great stuff. I've got a physical product and I need to sell this thing. How much time, how much energy, how much effort should my sales team be putting into these deals? Because I feel like they're dragging on too long. There's got to be a better cadence. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a tip you can give me on how much time they should spend before cutting bait, turning loose, and moving on to the next opportunity. That's why I'm going to tell you about Tony and the peach tree. So bear with me, class. Grab your blankies, get a snacky. I'm going to tell you a really quick story. When I bought my house in Denver, okay, it was a big-ass lot with an old-ass house on it that they scraped and put a big giant house on. One of the things they left, which was left over for, gosh, I don't know, might have been 100 years, there was a freaking peach tree, which I thought was pretty great because I had never had a fruiting tree of my very own. I went out the first year that we lived there, tons of peaches. We did some construction in the back. We put $100,000 into this huge cool patio with a fire pit, moved the fence around. The next year, no peaches. The peach tree started to kind of die. Some of the branches looked dead. They looked horrible. I went and put a ton of effort into this. I'm like, I need my peaches back. I went and bought the right tools. I bought the saws. I went to Home Depot. I went to the YouTube. First year, man, I was out there every month sawing things, pruning things, no peaches. Next year, I'm out there sawing things, pruning peaches. By the way, I'm not that skillful at it. Tree's kind of looking like Frankenstein at this point. I'm going on YouTube. I'm putting my own custom fertilizer in there, no peaches. Year 3, I'm still working it. I'm hanging in there, just like the team is hanging in there trying to close these leads, right? It is going on forever. I'm putting a ton of effort into it. No peaches. Year 4, somebody comes by and they're like, dude, what the hell are you doing? My hands are bleeding. I'm all sweaty. I got this new Ryobi cordless tree trimmer. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to save the peach tree. My wife, by the way, she's worse at keeping anything alive than I am. There's only one person on the planet worse at keeping things alive than me, and that's my supermodel wife. She's great at raising kids, awesome at being a wife, is an incredible person, can't even keep a cactus alive to save her life. My wife is like, cut bait. Pull the peach tree out. The thing's dead. It's gone. It's not coming back. I wanted to hang in there, much like a salesperson wants to hang in there with a lead. I'm putting forth the effort. My hands are bloody. My face is sweaty. A neighbor comes over. They're like, you need Tony. I'm like, Tony? They're like, yeah, Tony the tree guy. Okay, here's the thing with Tony. I'm going to give you his number. You're not going to be able to understand him. By the way, I still to this day cannot figure out where Tony's from. Nobody can. It sounds like he's talking Italian, Portuguese, Turkish, and Spanish, all rolled into one. I'm convinced Tony is an alien species and fakes like talking. You can get like basically every 10th word out of him. You can understand. Okay, Tony shows up. Looks at me, gives me a grouchy look, looks at my Ryobi stuff, moves it over to the side, goes up to the tree. I kid you not, if you ever meet my wife, ask her the story. Honest to God, 100% true. Tony starts petting the tree. He's talking to it in his little Tony language. He's rubbing things. Come over here. Tony's like, is the tree not happy? I'm like, I can tell the tree's not happy. It's dying. I've been trying to fix it for 4 years. You do too much. He says, step aside. Tony talks to the tree a little bit more. He literally hugs the tree. He goes, I had the tools. I had the stuff. He grabs some little pruners and a little tiny saw. He saws some stuff here. He saws some stuff there. He digs a little trench. He goes, fence make tree no happy. He moves some things around. He goes, you have peaches. I'm like, no, we're not going to have peaches. The guy didn't do anything. He was there for 10 minutes. He starts rubbing one of the branches. He's like, see, this little bud is right there. He's like, peaches. I kid you not. He goes, oh, be ready. New tree coming. Just like Tony said, I had peaches that year, and about 15 feet over, now that the tree was happy, just as Tony said, another peach tree came up. This was 2 years ago. That second peach tree is nearly 20 feet high at this point. Tony comes by every year, talks to the trees, moves some stuff around, and I've got peaches, more peaches than I can deal with. Why am I telling you this story? Okay? This is exactly what we do as salespeople. We just really want that peach, right? We really want to save that tree. So we work really, really hard. But it's not about working hard. It's not about the cadence. It's not about how much time or effort you put into something if you're doing the wrong things at the wrong time in the wrong way. Let me retell this story in terms of sales where maybe you guys can understand it a little bit better. I know you're picking up what I'm putting down, but let me now bring it into the sales world. I have to go to the airport a lot. My local airport here in Denver is Denver International Airport. I fly first class. I spend a ton of money to fly first class because I don't want stress. I have stress every gosh darn time I go to the airport because the parking at Denver International Airport is terrible. Okay, let's say there was somebody assigned to a parking squad at Denver International Airport that have access to frequent first class passengers, trying to sell them some sort of parking option that would change their life, that would give them the results they needed, that would help them feel less stressed when they have to go to the airport, which I have to do very soon here. If they emailed me, hey, we got parking options, delete, not going to read. If they called me, hey, if I could have 5 minutes of your time, I'd like to talk to you about our amazing parking options. I'm not freaking interested. Okay? They could call me, email me, spam me for 4 months, for 4 years. I'm not going to take their call. I'm not going to call them back, and I'm not going to answer their email because I am heads down in my world. I can't make the connection, just like Tony made, that the fence is there and that's what's upsetting the peach tree. The peach tree wasn't able to tell me, okay? Which is why I spent so much time, energy, and effort trying to fix that tree, and I was going about it the wrong way. Now, if somebody from the airport called me and said, hey, Matt, this is Barry Bonds here at Denver International Airport, part of our parking unit. Hey, I noticed you're a frequent first class passenger, and I had an idea I wanted to get your opinion on. Could you give me a call on my mobile 720-660-3202? Okay? Instead of trying to pitch me, instead of trying to sell me, instead of trying to tell me about their great parking options, if they just slowed the hell down and said they have an idea I want their opinion on, I'm going to be exponentially more likely to call them. And then when they call me, instead of pitching me, instead of getting the saw out, instead of pruning, instead of digging, instead of doing all this, if they just give me a hug, talk to me, rub the tree a little bit, the way that Tony the tree guy does, talk to it in his secret language. My secret language, if the parking people were calling me, would sound something like this. Hey, you know, one of the things that we're seeing with first class passengers is, and I'm going to raise my hand and let you know we own this here. The parking situation's a complete nightmare. But you guys are spending a ton of money to fly first class. The reason why you're doing that is, you know, you don't want to have stress. You want to have everything go smooth. You want to board the aircraft quickly. Typically, a lot of times that's because you're in a hurry, but then you get there and try and park your car, and at least for most people, everything falls apart. How are you dealing with that? Well, Barry Bonds, I'm not, right? Talk to me about when you say you're not dealing with it, what's going on? Yeah, I get to the airport, I'm actually paying $400 extra for a ticket so I can board the aircraft 15 minutes sooner, but then I'm having to arrive at the airport an hour earlier just to find a parking spot. Gosh, when you say you're having to arrive an hour earlier, can you walk me through what's going on? Yeah, I'm going to that Terminal West building. It's got the stupid things up there, by the way. You guys, I'm glad I could complain on you. Sorry, I know it's not your fault, Barry, but let me unload a little bit. No, go ahead. Yeah, it says there's parking spots open. I don't know which spot is open. Gosh, that's terrible. Have you ever, just out of curiosity, you ever missed a flight because of that? Yes. What happened there? Were you able to rebook? Didn't matter, Barry, because the flight that I missed was the last flight of the evening, and I had a live event where somebody paid me $28,000 the next day, and I had to reschedule. That didn't go well. You know, because of the fact that you tell me you're stressed out, you're having to get there an hour early, you have no way of knowing if you're going to find a spot or not, and God forbid, we don't want the next thing to ever happen again where you miss a live event and you're missing out on $28,000 in revenue. You know, I'd like to recommend we have this new partnership with the Westin Hotel right next to the terminal where I can get you a monthly membership. You'll be able to pull right in. You'll have a guaranteed spot, and then there's a cool little escalator that takes you right up into check-in. By the way, are you clear? Yeah, I'm clear and I'm first class. Have you ever noticed that little door off to the side? Sometimes you see people coming through it. No, never saw it. Yeah, there's a little door right by Clear. That's the door you're going to go out and head on to the airport. Does it make sense to get you signed up for a membership? Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay? When you guys slow down, it's not about figuring out what the cadence of my process is. How many more times I should call somebody and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this, or I'd like to let you know about this, or worse, I'd like to pick your brain. That's literally what I was doing to the peach tree. Physically. I'm going to saw this off. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and fix you. And get the person's attention, interact with it. I don't know how Tony the tree guy mysteriously talks to trees, but he was like, hey, I got an idea I want to get your opinion on. And the tree talked back, yeah, what is it? Hey, this guy loves peach trees. His wife's getting ready to chop you down. What's going on? The fence. The fence is bothering me, Tony. Tell him the fence is bothering me. Dig a little trench so water can get around the fence. I'll give him some peaches. Cool, does it make sense to do another tree off to the side? Yeah, we'll make it happen. When you guys slow the process down, you're going to find there's a lot less cadence. There's a lot less time. Here's the other cool thing about slowing the process down. In Alejandro's question, he's like, my team, when should they know they should cut bait? When should they know they're putting too much work into it? If they're spending their time asking for ideas that they want to get somebody's attention on, and in those first few seconds, instead of pitching what you guys have to offer, semi-automatic bag sealer, I think it is, they're talking about, one of the things that we're seeing is food costs and labor costs, especially in the bakery, if your union bakeries there at Albertsons, the cost has gone up 37% for bakers and assistant bakers, and the food costs have risen 300% in the last 3 years. How are you guys dealing with that in terms of making sure that that department's profitable? Man, we're not. It's a real struggle, right? We're fighting with the union every day over labor, but I'll be honest, in 40% of our stores, bakery is no longer cash efficient, right? Just out of curiosity, if you were able to have the bread that they're cooking there in-house be able to stay on shelf, say 2 or 3 days longer, do you think you could recoup a little bit more cash flow? Absolutely. I mean, we're throwing away quite a bit of merchandise. When you say you're throwing away quite a bit of merchandise, how much are we talking here? Oh, we did a study the other day. We tried to donate it to the food bank. They won't allow it because of their the USDA regulations. Once it's perishable, it's perishable. We can't even donate it. We're probably losing about $12,000 per store per month in throwing away baked goods. What have we talked about in terms of semi-automatic bag sealers? Nothing. Zero. Right? But look at all that I've learned. Because of the fact that you said the labor union negotiations, they've really put a tight grip on you. Those are only going to get worse. I don't typically see labor unions going, hey, we'd like to get paid less. Food costs have gone up. We're hoping that those level. My data is showing that they might level, but we have to be prepared for them to at the very least stay the same as where they are. And you're throwing away $18,000 worth of baked goods every month per location. Does it make sense for us to look at getting a bag sealer program in there to where that baked good is sealed instantly, giving it an additional 72 hours of sellability, giving you that 18,000 plus, call it another 4,000 to 5,000 back in return, right? How at that point, there is no more asking how long do we chase this deal, because you can now attach the outcome to the close. You can now attach the outcome to the follow-up, and you can use the words what we talked about on last Tuesday's session, the 3 magical words, so you can. Hey Matt, does it make sense to get our bag sealers in place in your 47 Albertson stores so you can keep those items on the shelf up to 72 hours longer, recoup the 18,000 that you're losing right now, and potentially add another 5 to 7 per store per month in top line revenue? Right? Now all I have to do at that point is repeat that message. You want to talk about cadence? Sure, let's talk about cadence. Do it every 2 weeks. It takes what? 28 seconds to leave that voicemail. Okay? I can also send that in an email. But again, don't be lazy. We don't have to worry so much about what our process is if we figure out what the hell is going on in that person's world. Our process should be all about this. Number 1, getting their attention. Number 2, giving them an insight. Hey Matt, Bob with the airport. Wanted to reach out to you personally. I've got an idea I'd love to get your opinion on as a first-class traveler. Ah, you just got my attention, Bob. Right? I called Bob back, or Barry Bonds, or whatever his name was. Insight. Man, we're seeing this is happening time and time again with first-class passengers. Yes, it's pissing me off. Okay? Now I'm going to monetize. Got the conversation going. I'm going to monetize. When you say it's pissing you off, what's going on? Missed a flight. What happened with that flight? Missed a live event. How often are you getting to the airport early? All the time. How early are you getting? An hour. There's a million ways they could go. What's an hour of your time worth? $2,500, right? So you're telling me you're spending X on a ticket plus you're burning through another $2,500 in your own personal time driving around looking for a parking space? Yeah, I never really thought about it that way. How often are you flying? 7 times a month. Because of the fact that you told me you're burning through $30,000 worth of your own time, plus buying first class tickets and potentially missing flights, I'd like to recommend our blank membership. Unfortunately, you guys have this thing reversed, most of you. I'd like to talk to you about our blank membership. And then thinking they're going to go, oh my God, I'm interested, I'm missing flights, which they don't. Just like the peach tree didn't tell me the fence was in the way. When you guys slow down and get their attention and deliver an insight, when you triangulate, right? And we've talked about that before. Talk about other people that you're seeing. Talk about other clients. Typically what we see with first class passengers is XYZ. Don't say, is that something you're seeing? How are you dealing with that? Now you have a discussion. Alejandro, does that make sense?
It really does make sense. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure my boss, Jeff, I think he's in the attendance.
Good.
To hire you right now.
Well,
yeah, definitely. So I've been. This is my first week in the training.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very familiar with all the terms you have said so far, all the ideas. So yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, I will have my team starting tomorrow.
We just got to slow down and we got to have better conversations in the beginning, and then you don't have to keep pounding it all the way down in the end. I'm not sure if it's for you, but if you work in sales and you absolutely positively have to double or triple the amount of money you're making in order to truly enjoy your life, click the link here. My name's Matt Easton. I'm the founder of Easton University. It's the most effective sales coaching in the world. Click the link here, check it out. You're gonna see we'll give you access to an on-demand learning portal that's gonna give you video coaching with me on everything you need to know to double or triple your income, or even more. Everything from prospecting to closing to handling objections and complaints to building your personal network and self-confidence, but it doesn't stop there. Click the link here. You're gonna see that when you get a membership to Easton University, you're also gonna have the ability to do live coaching with me twice a week. You can ask me any questions. We can work through anything you're struggling with. I will be there with you every step of the way to help you double your income in sales right now. Click the link now. You're going to see we've helped thousands of people just like you, and we have the video testimonials from them to prove it. Easton University is more than a learning portal. It's more than live coaching with me. It's your future, and you and your future are worth it. Click the link now. I'll see you at Easton University.